Shalom, and welcome back to B'nai Noach Academy, Thoughts on the Torah. Please remember to hit the like button, to subscribe, and most importantly, to share this insight and inspiration with friends and family. When you look in the book of Leviticus, chapter 21, it reads, God spoke to Moses, speak to the priests, the sons of Aaron, and say to them, and then he continues giving on the details. Speak and say. Well, why these two euphemisms? Just say, speak to them, or say to them. Why did he repeat it? It seems to be referring to two types of sayings. Well, here he's going to list the laws specifically for the priests, how they're supposed to keep their ritual purity in its highest integrity, and the things they're allowed to do and not allowed to do, and so on and so forth. And God introduces it by saying, speak and say, because there are two groups of people that need to be spoken to. There are two groups that are addressed here. There are the typical groups, those that are responsible for their own actions, those that need to care for their own observance, that is the adults, anyone that's of age that is considered, according to the Torah, to be mature enough that they should be held responsible and culpable for their own observance. And then there is another type of speaking, that which the adults, the mature ones, are instructed, are encouraged to speak to the youth, to guide the youth, to oversee their observance, and to make sure that they too are being brought up properly. This is a tremendous lesson for all of us, especially nowadays. Sure, we're not priests, but in the broader sense, and especially considering the fact that we study this, means that there is a lesson here for all of us. In the words of the sages of the Talmud, this comes to teach us, quote, lehazhir gedolim alaktanim, which literally translates to warn the elders over the youth, over the young, meaning to warn, to advise them, to encourage them, to teach the young. This is very, very important. And sadly, we live in times when it seems, at least in certain segments of society, that it's the young, with whatever crazy new ideas they come up with, which perhaps is natural for young people to explore and to try new things, and it might be healthy on some level, which it definitely is. But when they come up with these new ideas, instead of the elders, instead of those who are charged by God with the responsibility of teaching the next generation, instead of them saying, well, not such a good idea, well, that's irresponsible, well, that's not going to end up well, or what have you, they actually buckle and seem to get swept away with it. In fact, even worse, sometimes you see where the quote-unquote older generation seems to celebrate this fantastic idea, these fantastic ideas of the new generation, which are not fantastic at all, anything but fantastic. And this, the Torah tells us, no, that's not the right way. The right approach is that you have to be lahazhir gedolim alaktanim. Always the gdolim, the elders, the grown ones, the mature ones are always, quote, warned, are always cautioned to look out for the youth, to make sure that with all their desire and excitement about exploring and looking out for new things, which could be very good, that's only when there are the cautionary lines from the elders. That's only when they have the guidance, when they have the proper protocol that's set in place by the elders. And here's another great insight. The choice word here is lahazhir, which means literally to warn, to caution. The Hasidic masters point out something very insightful. The word lahazhir also comes from the root, from the etymology of Zohar, which means to shine, to glow. When could the youth really shine? When could they really glow, really be successful? Only when they have the elders guiding them with their youthfulness. This not only makes, quote, the youth shine, but it also makes the elder shine. And this is important because sometimes it can feel like a burden. Sometimes it can feel like something which is perhaps a useless endeavor or an unsuccessful one. And the Torah says, no. God is teaching us, lehazhir gedolim aktanim. When you are cautious, when the elders set the cautionary lines for the youth, sometimes it may not seem successful in the moment, but you should know that ultimately, lehazhir, you come out and you shine greater. This is very, very important. And this is something which we all need to pay attention to for our children and for society's children, because really, in a sense, they're all our children.